Welcome back. Tensions ran high on Capitol Hill yesterday as Attorney General Merrick Garland testified before the House Judiciary Committee for more than 5 hours. Republican lawmakers grilled Garland on DOJ decisions in a range of high-profile cases, including, of course, the investigation of President Biden's son Hunter and special counsel indictments into former President Donald Trump. In his opening statement, Garland reminded Congress his job is to remain nonpartisan.
Our job is to pursue justice without fear or favor. Our job is not to do what is politically convenient. Our job is not to take orders from the president, from Congress, or from anyone else about who or what to criminally investigate. As the president himself has said, and I reaffirm today, I am not the president's lawyer. I will add, I am not Congress's prosecutor. The Justice Department works for the American people.
But that did not stop the accusations from flying, both inside and outside the hearing room. The AG also disputed a frequent claim by Donald Trump that Garland was directed to indict him personally by President Biden.
Was the president telling the truth, or was he lying when he said that President Biden told you to indict him?
No one has told me to indict, and in this case, the decision to indict was made by the special counsel.
So that statement the president made on Sunday was false?
I'm just going to say again that no one has told me who should be indicted in any matter like this, and the decision about indictment was made by Mr. Smith.
And then there was this moment when Garland became noticeably angry after a Republican lawmaker accused him of attacking a religion.
Attorney General, through the chair, I ask you, do you agree that traditional Catholics are violent extremists?
I have no idea what the traditional means here.
Catholics that go to church.
May I answer your question?
Yes or no?
The idea that someone with my family background would discriminate against any religion is so outrageous, so absurd.
Mr. Attorney General, it was your FBI that...
Garland is Jewish and the descendant of Holocaust survivors. Joining us now, Democratic Congresswoman Becca Balint of Vermont. She's a member of the House Judiciary and the House Budget Committees. Thank you, Congresswoman, for being here this morning. We really appreciate it. You were there for a lot of this. Just give us your impressions of these attacks against the Attorney General, who time and time again said he's not serving the president, he's not serving Congress, he's simply trying to serve the people of this country.
What I saw in the hearing room was a public servant doing his level best to answer questions that were designed to inflame. They were not based in fact or detail. There's a lot of misinformation and disinformation. And the challenge that we always have in those hearings is, how do you correct the record in real time while also giving the witness an opportunity to answer the question? And so one of the most powerful moments for me yesterday in that hearing was, of course, the clip that you showed of Garland talking about his experience. My grandfather was killed in the Holocaust. When, I heard Garland speaking in that way from the heart, and what he essentially was saying to the room was, this is outrageous. What I am being put through here is despicable, and it's not actually about the rule of law. The second incident that I thought was incredible was when Ken Buck was bucking Jim Jordan. He threw the AG a lifeline, essentially, and said, I know that if you had tried to replace Weiss, the person that Trump put in place, you would be accused of partisanship. And it was an interesting moment in the committee because he is one of the few saying that impeachment of the president is outrageous because there's no facts to support it.
David Weiss being the U.S. attorney appointed by Donald Trump, now investigating Hunter Biden. You made the point yesterday, and we've been talking about it all morning. We're just days away now from possible government shutdown. As you survey what's happened here this last week with your Republican colleagues, do you see any path out of this?
It's very difficult to see one because the Republican conference is in a civil war. That's what's going on here. And I want to make it really clear. This is not House dysfunction because we as Democrats did work across the aisle for the deal to avoid the default. And it was 80% of Democrats, 67% of Republicans came together on that agreement. We are willing to work on bipartisan legislation. The problem is that McCarthy has cut so many deals and has gone back on his word so many times within his own conference that it's very hard for us to know who we're going to be dealing with. And I fear that they aren't at the point, and by they, I mean leadership in the Republican conference is not willing yet to work with us to pass a bipartisan deal.
So with that going on, the backdrop of this, of course, is that there are members of McCarthy's conference, the far right, who, you know, they basically their stance is, we put you in power, we can take you out of it. Yeah. Do you sense that there's going to be anything that can be done to appease them? And if not, is McCarthy's time in office in that position short?
They cannot be appeased. They cannot be appeased, and it has been so clear from the very first week of this Congress, right? 15 votes for Speaker, deals being handed out everywhere. And so the problem is, and I know it is difficult for us to wrap our heads around this, the problem is these so-called moderates will not stand up to the extremists. That is the problem. There are too many apologists and people who know better, but they are afraid. They are fearful that the next tweet is going to be about them. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, it's certainly former President Trump is putting pressure on all of this.
Yes.
That's a key part to underscore. We really appreciate you being here this morning. You have a busy couple of days ahead. Democratic Congresswoman
Thank you.
Becca Balint of Vermont, thank you.